Hey everybody, welcome back to another draw along. Today we're gonna draw the Griffin house from Family Guy. I was watching an episode yesterday and thought that this is very on par with the shapes I've been drawing recently and thought it might be fun to try to put it together. I started recording already and attempted to place the box on the page that was gonna contain the house, but I drew the box. First I drew it too high, or it was gonna come into this page, and then I drew it too right side to where the sunroom wouldn't fit on the page. So we're gonna start over. I'm gonna adjust everything here, and I think third time will be a charm. I think we're looking better here. And I was debating whether or not to draw a shorter box and then put the roof on top, or a taller box that will have the entire house inside of it, roof included. So I've decided to draw the taller box. We'll see how that goes. Still feel like I'm gonna be going into this other page here a little bit. That's fine. I'm not drawing these lines very straight. All right, this is gonna be a little weird. Kind of hard to see with the light coming in. Every time I put my hand down, I can't see my lines. I feel like maybe I should have a ruler here so I can keep everything straight. All right, that is not good. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use this pen here. Okay, that's better. A little better. Maybe it just looks weird because the page is lifted up. All right, so we've got the box that's gonna hold our house. Now we're gonna draw the box for the sunroom. I don't know how detailed I'm gonna get with drawing the paneling on the house. I'd like to get the windows at least, but we'll see how long this takes and how long a video I feel like making. All right, and then I'm gonna draw the back side of the house here so that I can get an idea of where to place the garage on this side. I feel like this is all messed up. I feel like it's gonna be like right there. All right, that's where it's gonna be. All right, so all this up here is nothing. I don't need that. I feel like this side of the box is wider than this side of the box. Maybe I can just just extend this side a little bit. Okay, it's back there. All right, that's fine, that's fine. So the garage looks like it's further back on the face than the sunroom is on this face. So I'm gonna draw the garage all the way up against the back of the house there. And down there, and then that's fine. All right, we got our box for the sunroom, box for the house, and a box for the garage. Now, I think I'm gonna draw, so the bottom half of the house where these front windows and the door are seem to be, where the edge of the roof is lower than halfway down. So halfway down would probably be right about here. So I'm gonna draw the roof edge right about there. Trying to match these angles. And then go up to the middle. And then the middle over here. Okay. And then match those. That's the top of the roof. And then it'll come back down. Back down there. And then there's a little bit hanging off the back over there as well. We'll get that. All right, got a lot more natural light here. The sun just came out from behind the clouds, so maybe this will make it a little easier for me to see what's going on. We'll see. All right, so right in the center here, we're gonna draw the door, and the top of the door comes down maybe just below the eave of the roof. And then that is not the right angle. This might be a two-parter here, folks. It's gonna take a while. Okay. All right, got the front door and the windows. We got the shutters around the windows as well. Maybe we can get those in there. Okay, get this other window. And the shutters actually a little bit smaller than the window frame. And then the windows have the cross bits in them. I don't know what those are called, but the crossy bits in the windows. Okay. And then off the roof here, maybe about this high up the roof. All right, I want to draw a line here for the bottom of the windows that are on the roof. And then this will go same angle as the roof here. I'm just guessing at the placement of these things. That. Got this vertical line. I want the top of this to be the same. Okay. So about there. And then the top of the roof window. I also don't know what that's called. Okay, cool. All right, that was a little easier to put in than I imagined. Let's get the windows in here. Okay, cool. Got the door. Door handles on this side, and the door does have these little squares or rectangles on it. All right, there's a window on this side of the house. This is more work than I imagined. I just didn't quite know what to expect. There are two windows on this side of the house. You know, before I draw those windows, maybe I should draw the sunroom. So the peak of the roof will be centered here. Okay, and then maybe draw where the roof, the sunroom roof will come down to. Okay. And then the eave of the roof on this side. Of the roof there. All right, and then the edge of the sunroom is just inside that. Okay, that's good for that side. And then this side, it's a little bit in from the edge of the roof, or the corner of the roof. All right. And there's a lot of windows on this, a lot of screens. Let's let's see. A lot going on here. So let's find the center of this. Close enough. All right. All right, that's the center. Maybe the top of the door, the bottom of the little screen above the door. Bring this down. Bring this down. All right, there's the door. And then on either side of the door, there's a beam. And then you know what? I kind of messed up the angle of the top of the door. It's more angled that way. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's try that again. Try that again. So it's this line. This line. Okay, that looks a little better. A little better. All right, let's see. The bottom of the screen windows, right about there. And then the top is just right about the edge of the roof. Okay. Okay. Got those. Just got the top of the door running through these beams that are on either side of it, and I don't want that. Okay. And then this door has a bit going on inside of it as well. Ooh, getting warm in this sun here. All right, we got the roof. All right, now that I've got this roof, we're gonna get these windows in here. Oh my gosh. So the bottom of this window is going to be the same as the bottom of that window. All right. Got our windows there. You know, it'd be cool to, maybe I'll draw this without all the detail and come back another time and try to draw it again with a bit more detail. That might be kind of fun. All right, I feel like I drew the garage. Oh no, I did draw the garage okay there. All right, so the roof of the garage, this box is a little hard to see. The roof of the garage is a little bit lower than the edge of the roof of the house. So, and it doesn't come out as far as I drew it. Okay, we'll do that, that's fine. And I might, maybe I drew it a little too high. I drew everything a little too high here, so I'm gonna bring the garage down a little bit there. And then back in, and then we'll catch just the edge of the garage door. Okay. All right, so we've got the garage, we've got the front of the house, we've got the sunroom on the side. Let's get some bushes in here. I think bushes and and the back of the house here. Let's draw that. So this is coming off of the roof, actually. Okay. So the proportions are not accurate back here, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. All right. the back edge of the house just popping out there. And then the chimney. I think I drew the perspective quite wrong because I'm showing the top face of the box here that I drew, but you can tell in the image on the chimney, this side of the chimney here is angled downward. So I think we have like a 2-point perspective of the house here. So I drew the wrong perspective. That's fine, that's fine. Let's get some bushes in here. It comes up to the door, and the door actually has a stoop out front. Bushes overlap just a little there, and they come all the way around to underneath this screen window. This side of the house. All right. I think I'm happy with this. All right, let's go in and pen this in. All right, this is turning into a kind of a long video, but let's see what we got here as we pen this in. All right, I'm not gonna put the same amount of detail in these window frames as in the image. We're gonna keep it simple today and just draw some straight lines, well, as straight as I can get them anyway, and have that be the window frame there. I'm all right with that. Right. get too detailed, but I think it would look funny if I didn't give the roof some thickness there. Ooh, that was a fun line to draw. And then the edge of the house, and the edge of the house over here comes down to the bush. And then let's get these windows in here. Right. Okay, we got the door. See the bottom of the door. Right about there. I'm not gonna draw, maybe I'm not gonna draw, we'll see. You know what, I think I can draw the door frame. I think I can get that in there. So let's do this. We'll bring the door up almost all the way to that triangle. And then get the door frame around it. Just a little bit wider than the door. And then straight down. Stoop here is a little bit wider than I drew it. Awesome. Let's get these little rectangles in here. Doorknob, and then whatever this little bit is above the door here. Okay, got the windows, got the door. Let me get this edge of the garage. And I'll give the eave of the roof here a little thickness as well, and the edge of the garage. Nice. I'm a little worried about how this is going to look back here with this piece hanging off the house, because I did draw the sunroom, I think, a little too small, because the back of the house here, this line going down, is supposed to touch the roof of the sunroom, but I've got the edge of the roof here coming down to about there. And then the back half of that, and this is the line of the house that you can't see because the roof of the sunroom is overlapping this corner of the roof of the main house, so I messed that up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna draw this line first, and then the roof extending out. Oops, I drew that a little too low. this edge of the roof some depth. And then this edge of the roof some depth. Okay, that's good, that's good. And then the edge of the sunroom coming down to the bushes. This edge of the sunroom coming down to the bushes. And then this edge of the sunroom down to the bushes. All right, so this is one solid line. And then comes down there. This is not one solid line, but I'm gonna draw it like that for now, just for simplicity's sake and not getting too bogged down in the details. These lines I'm drawing here do have some width to them, but I'm not thinking about that so much. Okay, what do I want to do? Oh, that goes up behind. Okay, so let's get the door here. I'm gonna get the door first, and the outer edge of the door touches these beams on either side, so I can get a line all the way down. And then the top of the door, and there's two squares inside the door. A little wonky, that's all right. It's okay. I guess there's a door handle there. And then outside here, there's a beam that comes all the way down. And over here, there's a beam that comes all the way down to the bush. And then this comes down here. And there's a window. And the same thing over here. A window there. And you can't see the top of that window. So these are screens. I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna draw some lines, I think, to indicate that those are screens. I'm getting over 30 minutes here. I hope you're hanging in. Hope this isn't too tedious for you. I think I made this window a little tall. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And there's no shutters on those. This window corner is cut off just a little bit by the roof. And then this window, the bottom left corner is cut off by the roof of the sun house. Actually, in the picture, the whole bottom part of that window is cut off. So I made a little bit too much room up here. All right, I'm gonna draw this edge of the house. I think I made this line a little too tall, so I'm gonna shorten this line a little bit. And then I'm gonna draw the roof coming up here. Yeah, that looks good. All right, I think now we just gotta get the bushes in here. Oh, this is great. This is coming together. I like this. And I don't draw bushes, so I'm just really drawing squiggly lines here. Jagged lines. I think that looks pretty good. And then it looks like there's like little lines like this kind of thrown in randomly. All right, let's do the same. I'm gonna start on this side. Oh, there's a little stoop coming over here too. Let's not forget about that. Nice. All right, let's get these bushes in. I like drawing the outlines like that. And actually, this outline is a little bit more jagged than this outline here, so I'm going to try to get more jagged. Can't see where I'm going. I can actually see a little bit of a shadow from the bushes here, which is kind of cool. It makes it, I think that's kind of neat. I might try to do that. I don't know how much detail I'm going to go into. Let's see. The roof has some lines on it. I think I'm going to get some of these panel lines on the house. That might make it look. Okay, you can see him over here a little bit. And then on this, and then across here. Here. And over here. Oh my gosh, that's great. You know what? And I'm gonna get the path coming out here. And it's a little inside. And why not get the driveway too? Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. That came out wonderful. That's the Griffin house, everybody. That's great. I'm glad I gave it a try. Thanks for hanging with me. Longest video yet, 40 minutes. You're a trooper for hanging in there. If you drew along, I hope you enjoyed how your house turned out. Share it with me if you drew, or share anything with me if you draw anything while you're watching this video. Love to see it. I'll see you next time.